30 seconds or less, you should see it come up on the show. You might have to refresh on the show page.
Okay.
All right. Hey, guys, it's Ted Bogert with the TED Show. We are back, and we are with the very sweet Joana Zuppas. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
I did it. So we're both sharing the show. We're trying to figure that out. But while I'm doing that on my end, Joana, we always start with origin story. People like to get to know you. Maybe they don't know who you are, where you're from. So give them a little background on you, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I just shared it. So
Fantastic.
yeah, my name is Joana Zuppas. I'm currently a real estate agent at Keller Williams. And my origin story. So actually it's very funny. I was in corporate America for about 10 years and I absolutely hated it for 10 years. I always felt kind of stifled and like I wasn't meant to be there. And then 3 years ago, I got my townhouse and I had moved from New York and my family's here, but I was away in New York for about 8 of those years. And I come to Orlando, I didn't know any real estate agents. I knew I wanted to buy a home. And I just used this random agent that I wanted to look at her listing. And she was the worst. She literally, I saw her once and she didn't come to my inspection. She didn't come to my closing. She wasn't my advocate at all. She kind of just let me out to dry. And after that, I realized that first of all, how did this woman make a professional living doing her job that way? And
Right.
then myself, I will be a real estate agent and do 10 times, 20 times better than she ever did. And the way that she treated me, I didn't want anyone else to feel that way.
That's funny how that works. It could have been a positive experience and you could have gotten into real estate, but in this way, it was a motivator on the negative side.
Yeah, I just thought, how dare she? And I knew I kind of, at the time, was thinking about wanting to run my own business and do something there. And I kind of just jumped at the opportunity when it came up.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So you came in when? 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
So tell me what it's like right now. How are you seeing the market? I think a lot of people, I know our topic is bringing the positivity back and I'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I think people would love to hear your insight as a real estate professional, where you see the market right now and where you see it headed.
Right. I mean, for a really long time, we knew that it was a seller's market. Inventory had been low for the last 3 years. And that's what was pushing up prices. That was what was creating that demand and that scenario where multiple offers on a home and you were crossing your fingers to hope that you got that house that you wanted. And now we're definitely seeing that shift, right? My opinion is that it's not even because inventory has increased or something, drastically different has happened in the market, except for that this virus is, people aren't going out to see homes, or they're more apprehensive about seeing homes. A lot of the times with my buyers or, even people who want to sell, they're kind of like, listen, I just want to wait until this goes, changes, the situation changes. Even though for buyers, I think that if you still have your job, right, and if the money is still coming in, that this is a great opportunity for you. Your interest rates are low, the lowest they have been ever. Like, it blows my mind how low interest rates are.
We're seeing so many purchases and refis still.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still there. I think people, you hit the nail on the head. I think people are afraid of the unknown and they don't know what the world's going to look like afterward. And so, yeah, I mean, I understand hesitancy, but in reality, you're right. The interest rates are just historically low still. It's a market where if you have wanted to get into it, now is a great time to get into it.
Absolutely. And really prices have been dropping. Motivated sellers that want to sell are actually dropping their prices because they don't know how much longer this is going to last. So they're just doing that in order to get it sold. So that's a great opportunity for you at this time, which you didn't have a month ago.
You didn't.
Good luck getting a really good price a month ago.
So I love our topic. I love the topic. I think I pulled that from you or your page, or we talked about it before. But how to bring positivity back into your life. Tell people. I think the first step in that is sharing with them, what are you doing to stay positive? What are you doing to stay creative?
Oh man, I'm so it's very interesting. My path into real estate has actually opened up my path spiritually. I think it's maybe something that I even needed to go into so that I could see the world in a bigger light and a bigger picture. And I think with any entrepreneur, you have to become like your best advocate, right? Any kind of limiting beliefs that you used to have, you have to squash them and you have to almost become a new person. And the way that I did that for a really long time was I meditate. I meditate for maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day. And I know a lot of people don't do it for that long, but I see ridiculous things happen and pop into my life after I meditate, because it quiets that inner dialogue in your mind that says, you can't do this. What makes you think that they're going to go with you? Or, all of this stuff that comes at you and you don't even realize that you're talking to yourself in that nasty way.
Yep.
Until you quiet your mind for a second and take that time to listen to it.
So what do you do? I've never asked this question before. What are you, meditation? So everybody has their own definition of meditation. When you are meditating for 30 minutes or an hour, are you listening to guided imagery? Are you listening to music? Or are you just in a dark, quiet room? What are you doing? I think people don't know, so they don't do it.
Yeah,
I know that sounds silly, but that's what.
All of it. Sometimes I feel like I need a guided meditation, and it's all on YouTube. I don't use all YouTube. I find like these amazing people on YouTube that I can go for 30 minutes and completely release my mind.
Yeah.
And afterwards, like you feel like you're on drugs, but like in a good way. There's just this release of tension.
Yes.
So, and then
sometimes
do you do it
at a certain time in the morning, or a certain time of day, or is it just when you can find time? Do you block time?
I typically do it after I exercise, because the way that I found that it works the best for me is first I have to exhaust my body. And then I have to exhaust my mind. So sometimes I'll do like these, I know it's going to sound weird, but like these Indian chants, or like breathing in, breathing out, and doing like Om or something like that, because I realized that exhausts my mind. So then I can sit in silence because I've literally extinguished all the energy from my body.
Love it. I think people don't know how to do that. One of the things I struggle with, because I do meditate and pray, if it's for a lengthy amount of time, I find myself then correcting myself. Oh man, Ted, you let your mind wander, and then bad Ted, and that's not a good place to be. And it can be very difficult to be focused for that long and focused on really nothingness until it starts to come to you. You're not supposed to be thinking about everything the kids have to do that day, all the work you have to do. Does the dog have food? Is somebody mowing the lawn? You're not supposed to focus on any of that. And it's very hard for us as human beings to release that.
Yeah. Well, I think like when you see that, just be like, oh, look, I'm thinking about the dog. Okay. Let it go. Like a cloud passing. Okay. Now go back and focus. It's just constantly going back and be like, no, this is my time. Come back to me. And like, I think a real part of it is people not designating the importance of themselves. They put everyone else ahead of themselves. And when I meditate, I'm like, this is my time. No one else is allowed inside.
That's smart. I think we need to, people are so big on scheduling and time blocking. And I think that they forget the self-care part of that. Yeah. It seems silly to block out 30 minutes or an hour on your calendar to self-care, to meditate, whatever self-care looks like for you. But it's so critical.
Absolutely.
and especially during these times, I've spoken about it on the show before. You know, I'm relegated into this. I'm in the bedroom right now because I have three other adults that live with me, and my wife and my kids that are all doing their own thing. So you
Yeah.
are in this space all day, and even here, my mind will wander. That's why I love having somebody in front of me. But if
Yeah.
once the show's over, I think about the thousand things I need to do, and I need that time in the morning to be
Yeah.
focused. I also do
Yeah.
gratitude when I'm meditating.
Yes.
I have a separate time for expressing gratitude.
Yeah. I
But the
love that.
meditation, I think, is so important. So important.
Yeah.
So
And the
what are
funny
you?
thing, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the funny thing is you'll feel the difference. You before you meditate, and you, like if you just go into your day and you don't take that time for yourself, even if it's like putting 5 things you're grateful in a journal, maybe that's your meditation, and that's
Yes.
fine. Um, you like things will happen. Like people will really upset me very easily when I don't meditate. But when I do meditate, I'm like, it's okay, no worries, whatever.
It's true. It gives, because it centers you and helps balance you,
Yeah,
then you're not likely to fly off the handle quick, or little things don't
yeah,
get to you like they would, because
yeah,
you really have given yourself that time to center. It's just
yeah,
like that old joke. I mean, you know, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Something really stupid and ludicrous will happen, and you'll lose your mind over it, when in
yeah.
reality it's just this built up, everything building up, and you haven't taken any time to figure out how to decompress.
Yes, exactly.
And so I agree. All right, so tell me what are your thoughts about what the new normal is going to look like when we are done with quarantine?
Oh Lord. Well, I hope it's that everyone will just start easing their way back into the office. People who maybe, got fired or let go will be able to go back and jump into, because, in all honesty, before this happened, there was a lot of, unemployment was very low. There was a lot of open positions. People were working, things were going well. So I really just think if this doesn't extend too long, I'm hoping we can just jump right back into it and, get into that new norm as quickly as possible, or maybe just go back to the way it was as quickly as possible. But I think if this goes on for a long time, that's when we're going to really start feeling it, and things are going to hurt more.
What are you gonna bring with you into the new norm? What are you going to? Because I think a lot of people like I love Zoom. It's
Yeah,
opened up a new world of doing shows and interviews, and I can go cross country, go international. What are you going
yeah,
to take with you that you've really begun to focus on or do differently during the quarantine with you into the new normal?
yeah. I mean,
Or are you just going to go back to the way it was?
I think you're right. I think it really did allow you the time to reevaluate not only yourself, but your business, and maybe come up with new ways of doing things. And obviously, I was already online, but now I'm thinking, well, maybe YouTube would be a great way to do things. Maybe I do 6 seminars a year. Maybe I can filter some in between moments with seminars that are on Zoom or are online, and expand my network that way. So I definitely do think that those parts where you realize how online is a really crucial part of your business that you might have not focused on.
Also, I think you get a lot more. You know, I talk about this. I was such a opponent of Zoom. I thought, how am I going to have any kind of real, honest conversations with anybody that I want to do business with?
Right.
And I got challenged on that by Renee Funk, actually, and I thought, you know what, you're right. I should try this. And all this has done to me is just given me a secondary way to connect with the people that I need to
Right.
connect with in my opinion, a more impactful way. The
Right.
phone is one thing. I'm terrible on the phone. It's mainly because I'm a very visual human being, not auditory.
Right.
But I feel like I get more out of it. I get to see Joanna's face. I can see how she's reacting. Maybe she's telling me on the phone, yes, that house is great. And she's over there smirking
Right.
if it's really Zoom. So you're getting an opportunity to really see your clients without the travel, without driving all over town, without
That's
having to
true.
do the things. And so I just feel like it's given us this opportunity to connect in a broader, bigger way. And that's, I'm viewing it that way. I'm actually pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I absolutely agree.
All right, so tell people how, let's say if they're interested in a house or they want to, because this goes everywhere when we share it, they're interested, what do you, are you specialized in a certain area? Do you, I mean, we're all quarantined, but in general, are you in a particular neighborhood, a particular area of town, a particular group of people that you cater to?
Sure. I mean, for most of my business, I do East Orlando. So my office is in Winter Park, but I do a lot of stuff in Waterford Lakes, Oviedo, obviously that Winter Park downtown area. But I also live in Lake Nona. So I service a lot of the Lake Nona, St. Cloud, Kissimmee community as well. So east and southeast, I kind of am just driving around that whole Orlando area.
You're everywhere. I love the whole Lake Nona. Lake Nona has grown so much. And even St. Cloud, which used to just not be thought of as anything but basically cow, horse area, they have built some beautiful neighborhoods that back right up to or come right up to Lake Nona. There's a lot of beautiful places out there, lots of growth. I just remember when there was absolutely nothing out there.
Oh, I know. I remember when it was Moss Park. That's the only reason we would go out there.
That's it.
And yeah, I mean, when I bought my townhouse 3 years ago, it was before the Super Walmart was at Narcoossee, but they had put up Super Walmart coming soon. I'm like, oh, I gotta buy now before this goes crazy.
I love it. So all right, how can people best reach you?
So I have Joana Zuppas Real Estate on Facebook. Can I put my phone number? Am I allowed?
Of course.
Okay, my phone number is 407-235-0236. And my email is just joanna.zuppas@kw.com.
Fantastic. You're a joy. Thank you so much for coming. See, it wasn't bad. And you didn't have to do anything extra. All you had to do was show up. That's why I love this. I love that we can still have conversations I can see, and we can have real meaningful conversations rather than not doing anything, which a lot of people are paralyzed right now. So guys, get on Zoom. It doesn't have to go live on Facebook, but get on Zoom and do some family calls, some happy hours. Stay connected with the people that mean something to you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Ted. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks, Joanna.